What is up, guys? We are playing Black Blue Trinkets, and this hand looks really slow, but I think it might be doable, actually. I don't like the fact that I have double Bajuka Bog just in case I'm playing it's a graveyard deck, but I think it has enough to get me there because I can disfigure any threat and I gain a life. So, I mean, I'm pretty decent against Stompy, maybe. Um, I mean, I guess I kill a threat, he plays a threat, do nothing, play a dude, get an Executioner's Capsule, and I can kill it. That'd be turn 4. I think it's actually too slow. I think this is 10 times better. Had I had one untapped source in my hand, I think that hand would have definitely been amazing. So this looks like we're playing against Infect, so it's definitely probably a good call. So all their dudes are 1/1s, so Fume Spitter's gonna do a ton of work here, and I think I'm just gonna wait till he activates Llanowar Augur, because that means he's gonna have to have another pump spell to follow it up, but I'm gonna make sure I have Guess Verdict up too. Oh yeah. Excuse me. I have no reason to be yawning. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he didn't play anything, so I'm not really sure if he has an Infector or not. I think he's waiting for Pump Spell, but this is a Nego encounter, so it doesn't really matter. He'd have to have the Morbid um, +1/+1 counter card. Funny thing is I actually should have attacked last turn just to test the waters. And then yeah, kill his creature. Chittering Grass is gonna do some work. I love this card. It is just the best card in Pauper. I need to start playing in more dailies. Also, I think I can bring better content whenever there's actually people playing for packs. Wow. Just the most perfect draw you could have. God, that is insane. And I forgot to attack. So at the end of his turn, I'm going to Guess Verdict him regardless. I could grab Executioner's Capsule. Okay, so I decided not to Guess Verdict. I actually was like, I thought maybe that was a good idea, but he has to sacrifice his creature anyways in order to use it as a buff spell. So I figured that I can just wait for him to sacrifice it and kill his creature. Or if he ever gets to a board state to where he has, a bunch of land plus Llanowar Augur and a creature, I could make him sacrifice both creatures. Life points don't matter in this matchup because it's Infect, so we grab Executioner's Capsule. So now he knows we have removal spells, so next turn I can play Capsule, leave up Capsule, and Guess Verdict, so I can kill both his creatures. Then I can just kill the Augur anyways. He might not block this because I hadn't been attacking, And, strategically it might be showing that I have a new spell that I didn't have before, which is always something to keep in mind. Like, if you haven't been doing something, if you draw a card, don't do something too sporadic, but it's always nice to um, bluff some stuff sometimes. Even though I did have a removal spell there, it's just like he had been saying that I hadn't been attacking, so like why would he block? And now I don't think he'll block again because he's kind of committed to that. And if he does, that's fine too. I plan on killing the Augur anyways. Decides not to block. His Augur's too important. So he only has access to 12 infect creatures, so he could have a Glistener Elf, Ichor, Ironclaw, or Ironclaw Mirror, whatever it's called, and Blightsteel Mamba. Is that what it is? No, Blight Mamba. I just think of Blightsteel Colossi. But, yeah, so I think I could prompt the concession here really soon, because I'm in control of the game, but he does have 4 turns left, which is relevant. Okay, so he vines his creature. He really wants that Augur to stay around. Oh, I guess I will do that. So, Wizards of the Coast, if you guys are watching this, something that would be a nice feature is if you click on a card to cast it, and I tap my mana, it automatically adds the correct mana in my mana pool. Because that would be amazing. Because I get tired of tapping dual lands and selecting a color. Especially in decks like this where my mana is like perfect because I play 9 islands and like 7 blue cards. I just need... I don't need it, but I would just like something a little extra. Or a little convenience factor. Okay, so now if he buffs it, I can actually Undying Evil and put him down a card. So yeah, this is a very interesting block. And now, since I'm tapping pretty much out, I might as well play Executioner's Capsule because he doesn't have a haste creature. He may not have played against this deck, so he probably didn't see this coming. But I mean, whenever I attacked that first time, he could have had a read that had an Undying Evil, and then he just played against his line. Vines of the Vastwood. Target creature can't be the... That's hilarious. So yeah, he vines my creature, which technically puts him down a card, but he doesn't have an infect creature, so he's trying to keep my board in check, which is actually really good. I do like that play a lot. Because, I mean, he doesn't have an infect creature to use it, so he might as well make sure he's utilizing his mana and his creatures as efficiently as possible. But now, if he doesn't have another Vines, he does kind of get blown out by the Executioner's Capsule. Well, not really. He has 3 turns still. He has plenty of time to draw another creature. And I definitely like the Vines play just because he couldn't afford to go down a card. Like, yeah, the Vines could have went on top of his deck, but I would actually rather be up a card as in my library versus down a card um, for like 2 turns. Yeah. If he's hitting his land drops, he could probably have wrecked my life. So yeah, I know I've had these guess verdicts for a while, and I probably should have cracked them. Um, well, a lot of people probably would have cracked them, but I have inevitability because I'm the control deck. So I'm just trying to trade 1-for-1 with resources until he doesn't have anything left, because I can generate card advantage, whereas he can't. Oh god, that would have been terrible. If he has the 4th Vines of Aswood, yeah, he could not afford to play it if he wanted to. But this will make me get Soulhawk Lifestaff, which is pretty nice. So now I can make 2/3 power creatures, which is relevant whenever you're playing it. It's an 0/3. Even though he has been using removal spells. So this is a 2-turn clock. So now I'm put into the position, excuse me, to where do I play my Guess Verdict now, or do I save it? Or do I just waste my Disfigure whenever he pops his Seal of Strength? Hmm. +3/+3. Okay. Puts him into a 3/6. I can turn him into a 1/4. Just so my creature doesn't die. Trade resources 1-for-1 again. He's gonna run out of cards before I do. And the less cards that he has, Apostle's Blessing, that doesn't work here. Oh, Disfigure, not Guess Verdict, yeah. Okay, so that was that game. So yeah, my side of the field was a 2-turn clock, so I didn't want to uh excuse me. I am just really tired for some weird reason. I didn't want to blow it too early just in case. You know, like, because at one point of the game he had 7 cards in hand. It might have been wrong giving him a lot of extra time, but he's only going to draw creatures and pump spells, which really isn't a problem. I can deal with creatures. Now, if he had a hexproof Infect guy, we'd have a problem. Bring in Chainer's Edict. And I love Chittering Rats, not Choking Sands. I could see taking out Crypt Rats, bringing in Executioner's Capsule or Triple Duress. Being able to pick the best pump spell out of his hand seems pretty good. Huh. I think I'm gonna try that. So I'm gonna bring in a duress, or 2 duresses, and I think I'll bring in. I'll keep in a crypt rats kind of as a miser's copy, because I can tutor for the capsules, so I don't think that's a huge problem. And I don't want to be tutoring for 3 capsules. I'd rather tutor for double capsule and a life staff, or capsule for a land, or mage for a land if I have to. I cannot talk right now. I am just not here mentally. Him being on the play is going to be pretty huge, so yeah, I'm looking for pretty much this hand. I'm looking for anything that's going to give me a small time advantage, so I can play Fume Spitter again, and then go into a Chainer's Edict. Kind of upset that he never messaged me back. I just wanted to talk to him. So at this point, if I want to play a turn 3 drop, or a 3 drop on turn 3, I think I go ahead and play Chittering Rats, because he's just going to play like another Blight Mamba or whatever, but it might be worth it to Chainer's Edict him. Yeah, this is correct. Especially seeing as he didn't play a creature. So he's probably going to wait for Blight Mamba with a whatchamacallit backup. Vines of Vastwood backup. Oh yeah. So the problem is, well, we're in an interesting predicament. I think the correct play would be try to kill it, let him use Mightables, Crows to, or Vines of the Vastwood. I just, anyways, so neg one this, and he uses Vines of the Vastwood, give it hexproof. Then I think Chittering Rats him to put him down a card, so then let's see, he would be at 3 cards with Vines of the Vastwood, and he'd have to have a miracle in order to kill me. So let's see, that'd be Trample right here. So +3/+3 Trample would put 4, and then you'd need like land double Groundswell, or he could have a few other cards. So yeah, like he needs the +4/+4s, and then I'll still have a 2/2 blocker. So yeah. And then he doesn't get 4 or like 4 extra damage from his vines, which is relevant. Then if he doesn't attack next turn, I will Chainer's Edict him, and then I'll pretty much be trading a Chainer's Edict for a Giant Growth, and well, it'd be a Giant Growth with Trample, so it'd be like a Rancor maybe. It would be the closest thing to compare it to. So yeah, you'd have to have a pretty potent hand in order to kill me this turn, because you'd have to be able to pump it to 12. So you'd have to have, yeah, land drop. I think Groundswell would be what he has to have. Or he could have double Vines to the Vastwood. Groundswell. Groundswell. Good job. So yeah, duress seems really good. And I did like his patience. His patience there was amazing. So Silvok Life Staff's actually irrelevant because it's just life. I think being on the play, I want as many one drops as possible. So I want to be able to Executioner's Capsule, kill his creature, or duress his hand, get Vines of the Vastwood and pump spells out of it. I used to play Wrench Mind, but I've really been enjoying duress better. So this is pretty much the hand that we wanted to see. Hopefully he doesn't run Nature's Claim, because that would just blow me out of the water. Oh, even if he does, I can just take it. Blight Mamba and 3 creatures, so that wasn't terrible. So it looks like back-to-back Edict effects with Executioner's Capsule. So now he has Ironclaw Mirror and Blight Mamba that I know of. And he'll probably run out Blight Mamba because it's the better of the two. Or it's the worst of the two, sorry. It has an upside and a downside. And I will Executioner's Capsule. The only reason I did that is because he's tapped out. And he could just leave up regeneration mana. Undo. Edict him, and then I'll Chittering Rats him next turn. That actually might just be enough to make him concede the game unless he drew another creature. But he has been really good about playing it out, which I actually enjoyed a lot. And he's been playing really well. Definitely someone who's been probably piloting the list for a while. So now we're going to go for Chittering Rats. So yeah, I mean, having one card in my hand that I couldn't play, given my mana, wasn't actually that bad. Whenever you have pretty much what you need against a deck, which is going to be like removal spells and disruption, I think you just keep that all the time and just hope you draw a blue source eventually, like that. And even if I didn't, I could draw like Sign and Bloods and stuff that could help get to that blue source. So next turn I can Trinket Mage for the Death Bauble. So I can actually have... It's like drawing a removal spell. Like drawing that island was essentially drawing a removal spell. I'm not going to commit it to the board right now because I can't crack it. But I think if he has Nature's Claim or anything like that, I'd rather him use it to kill an Execution Source. So I think I'm going to go ahead and run it out now. I know I said I wasn't going to, but under the circumstances of getting Stone Drained versus getting, like a minor disruption, I'd rather have the minor disruption. So yeah, this game's been really awesome. Or these games have been pretty awesome. For me, mostly, not for my opposition, unfortunately. I just kind of had pretty much the perfect cards against him. Well, that game one was actually really interactive, and I may have, or I probably should have, popped my edict effects sooner, but I didn't want him to win out of nowhere. Kind of like game two, where he just literally had what he needed to kill me. Alrighty, and that is game. So, yeah, those games are very interactive, very, very fun. I may have made a few, well, I did make a few play mistakes, but overall, they weren't anything to change the outcome of the game. I just knew that if he went all in on a creature, having a sack effect was going to be more relevant than just destroying his 0/3. The only reason I killed it in the end was because I had a 2-turn clock, and he pretty much had to draw a haste creature plus have everything that he needed to kill me. Um, I do understand that I would have killed him like 80 turns earlier had I blown up his Land of War Augur as well, but Trinkets is a tap out control deck, so there's actually no reason to try to kill your opponent as fast as possible because you have inevitability. You can generate tons of card advantage with Grim Harvest and stuff like that, and you have, main deck 10, 12, 13 removal spells, plus you have ways to tutor for them, and disruption, and board wipes, and just everything that you really need. I definitely feel like Trinkets might be one of the stronger decks in the format right now. I actually don't see a lot of decks that could beat it. It has more card advantage than Mono Black with the same amount of removal, and I think it actually just runs all over it. Now, the Is It deck that I've been posting a lot of, I would love to play against and actually test out that matchup because I think that would be really interesting. That deck plays anywhere from 16 to 20 creatures, and it can generate a ton of card advantage through Treasure Cruise. In like most games, I take out the sack a dude, make him discard 2 cards. I honestly feel like that's the weakest card in the deck. Um, Main deck, it might even be better to have it as a wrench mine, but being able to grab a chump blocker that has regenerate is actually very relevant in some matchups. Uh, with the removal that is popular in Pauper, like the best removal right now, being sack effects and like neg X, I think moving forward, he probably needs to come out of the deck. He does seem really good, and you can make your opponent discard 4 cards on turn 3, which seems really impressive. However, I feel that might be too gimmicky. I'm not saying that Mole Drifting and Undying Evil for 4 cards isn't more gimmicky. I feel like though the Undying Evils may be played as counter spells to removal spells that also generate a value because they edict you, you Undying Evil your Chittering Rats, sack it, and then they're down a card, or you can do it with a Moldrifter and draw 2 more cards. I just think tapping an extra mana during your upkeep and having 1 additional mana up may lead to blowouts because you'd have to do it before you sack it the first time. And if your opponent has any instant speed removal or even a bounce spell, you just get blown out pretty hard. So I think I may cut that card and try something else in its place. I haven't decided what yet, but we'll find out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. I hope you're enjoying the videos that I'm posting. I'm going to try to post more videos, and I might do more Pauper because I really enjoy playing Pauper. It's an Eternal format that is actually really diverse, versus other formats, and it's cheaper. It's like the diversity of legacy with the entry price being like 1/10, like maybe even 1/100th. Online is like 1/10, I think, because it's like $40 decks. I think maybe legacy decks are like 1,000 online. Yeah, and if you buy Delver, that's like $100, so that'd be about 1/10. Anyways, I digress. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Definitely leave a comment. I love hearing feedback, and I can't produce better content without hearing feedback. So, have a great day, and thank you for watching.